Pike, a 14-year-old member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, was reported missing on January 27, 2025, after leaving her group home in Mesa, Arizona. Her remains were discovered on February 14, 2025, off of Highway 60 near Globe, Arizona, prompting an active homicide investigation. At the time of her disappearance, Emily was residing in a group home in Mesa. She was last seen on January 27th, 2025 at 7:45 p.m., leaving the residence on foot near Mesa Drive and McPhillips Road. Her case manager notified her mother, Steph Desailly, about her disappearance a week later. On February 14th, 2025, Emily's remains were found off Highway 60 near Globe, Arizona. The Gala County Sheriff's Office reported her body was discovered in large contractor's trash bags with visible trauma to her face and head. Some of her remains, including her legs and arms, were missing. The Gala Sheriff's Office is leading the homicide investigation with an assistance from the FBI, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and San Carlos Apache Tribe Police. Authorities have identified 3 suspects, although their identities have not been publicly disclosed. Emily's death has deeply affected her community, highlights the broader issue of violence against Indigenous women. Vigils and calls for justice have been organized, emphasizing the need for systematic changes to address this crisis. And with information related to this case, is urged to contact the Gala Sheriff's Office at 928-200-2352, the Bureau of Indian Affairs at 505-917-7830, or the San Carlos Apache Tribal Police at 928-475-155. Emily Pike, a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, was born on May 16, 2010. She grew up in the San Carlos Apache Reservation in southern Arizona, surrounded by her family and community. Relatives and friends remember Emily as a sweet and soft-spoken girl who excelled in school and had aspirations of attending college. She had a deep love for animals, dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. Her interests included art, particularly painting and drawing. She had a fondness for the K-pop music and the online game Roblox. Emily's creative and vibrant personality left lasting impressions on those who knew her. Family members were affectionately described her as somebody who could light up a room with her smile and her joyful spirit, earned her the nickname Tinkerbell among relatives. Despite her positive demeanor, Emily faced challenges in her personal life at the time of her disappearance. She was residing in a group home in Mesa, Arizona. The consequences leading to her placement in the group home has not been publicly disclosed. Emily's untimely death has deeply affected her community and brought attention to the broader issue of violence against Indigenous women and girls. Her memory continues to inspire calls for justice and systematic changes to protect vulnerable members of the Native American communities. Emily Pike, a 14-year Indigenous girl from San Carlos Apache tribe, was brutally murdered after going missing on January 27, 2025. She had been living in a group home in Mesa, Arizona, and was last seen leaving the facility on foot. Shockingly, her mother wasn't notified of her disappearance until a week later. On February 14th, 2025, her dismembered remains were discovered in the back of the in black contractor bags off of Highway 60 near Globe, Arizona. Her body showed visible trauma to the head and face. Some parts, her legs and hands, were missing. The gruesome nature of the crime had led to investigators to classify her death as a homicide. The Gala County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation with an assistance from the FBI, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and San Carlos Apache Tribal Police. Officials stated that they have identified 3 suspects, but have not released their names publicly. Emily's murder had spiked national outrage, especially within the Indigenous communities, and has reignited demand for greater protection of Native women and girls. Her story is now the center to the broader missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. The investigation into the tragic death of 14-year-old Emily Pike is ongoing and involves multiple law enforcement agencies. Here's an overview of the current status. Discovery of the remains and initial investigation. On February 14th, 2025, Emily's dismembered remains were discovered in a large contractor trash bags off Highway 60 near Globe, Arizona. The Gala County's Sheriff's Office, GCSO, reported visible trauma to her face and head, with some body parts, including her legs and hands, missing. The GCSO is leading the homicide investigation with assistance from the FBI, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and San Carlos Apache Tribal Police. As of March 8th, 2025, no arrests have been made. No suspects have been publicly identified. Investigators has recovered surveillance footage from the area where Emily was last seen near Massa Drive and McPhillips Road in Massa, Arizona. However, the rural location where her remains were found lacks surveillance complicating the investigation. Public involvement and appeals for information. Authorities are actively seeking assistance from the public. They encourage anyone with information to contact the Gala County Sheriff's Office at 928-200-2352, the Bureau of Indian Affairs at 505-177830, or the San Carlos Apache Tribal Police at 928-475-1755. Emily's death has galvanized community efforts to address broader issue of violence against Indigenous women and girls. Vigils and gatherings have been held to honor her memory and demand justice. Advocates are pushing for systematic changes, including improved reporting protocols and support system for missing and Indigenous persons. The investigation remains active, with the authorities deliberately working to uncover the consequences surrounding Emily Pike's death and those responsible, and bring those responsible to justice. Emily Pike's body was identified through personal identifiers and forensics examination after her dismembered remains were discovered on February 14th, 2025, in trash bags of Highway 60 near Globe, Arizona. According to law enforcement reports, the Gala Sheriff's Office confirmed that Emily's identity was established during dental records, which is a standard method in cases involving significant trauma or decomposition. The condition of her remains, dismembered, practically missing her legs and arms, required additional forensic analysts to verify identity. Her distinguished features and contractual evidence, including her last known location and physical descriptors, also helped confirm her identity. Authorities have not publicly released all details due to the sensitive nature of the case, but her identity was officially confirmed shortly after the remains were discovered. That's a powerful and important. Okay. The media's initial failure to refer to Emily Pike by name in the coverage of her murder reflects a broader issue. The systematic invisibility and dehumanization of Indigenous people, especially Indigenous women and girls. This is not about media oversight. It is a part of the pattern that tied to the missing and murdered Indigenous women crisis. Here are some key reasons behind this troubling behavior. Impersonal and dehumanizing language. Referring to her as only as a dismembered girl or a teen found in trash bags strips Emily of her identity and dignity and humanity. It sensationalizes the crime while erasing who she was as a person, her name, her community, her dreams. Lack of Indigenous representation in journalism. Many major outlets lack Indigenous reporters or editors who can ensure culturally sensitive and respectful coverage. Neglect of Indigenous issues. Indigenous victims often receive delayed or minimal coverage compared to white victims. When coverage does occur, it often swallows or focuses only on the violence, not the life or the background of the victim. The failure of authorities to release her name promptly. In some cases, law enforcement delays releasing the name of the victim, which can contribute to the impersonal reporting. However, in Emily's case, her family and tribe were vocal, and the media still often failed to center her name. Ongoing mistrust between Native communities and mainstream media. Because of the long history of misrepresentation, and many Indigenous families and tribal leaders are cautious about engaging with the press, which can limit the stories shared through Emily's family, though Emily's family has spoken out clearly. In response to this erasure, the San Carlos Apache community and national advocates have been using the rally cry, "Say her name, Emily Pike." It is a demand for justice and for visibility. Emily Pike's tragic death has deeply affected her family and the San Carlos Apache tribe, prompting heartfelt statements, community gatherings to honor her memory. Emily's mother, Steph Desailly, expressed profound grief over the loss of her daughter, describing her as just a baby, an innocent, happy, kind person who loved painting and art. She lamented the unimaginable pain of losing her child in such a manner. Hope no other mother could endure similar anguish. The San Carlos Apache tribe is mourning Emily's death. The tribal chairman, Terry Rambler, stated, "Our tribe is mourning the tragic death of one of our young members. This is a terrible loss for the teenager's family in our tribe." In the wake of Emily's death, the community organized vigils to honor her memory, demand justice. Hundreds gathered at the Encounter Arizona Church in Massa, near her last known location, wearing red, the symbolic color of the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement, and holding signs that say, "No more stolen sisters," and "Justice for Emily." Family members and friends remembered Emily as a joyful, creative individual who loved animals, K-pop, and Roblox. Her cousins described her as funny, kind, and happy person who could light up a room with a smile. These heartfelt statements, community actions underscore deep impact of Emily's loss, collective call for justice, and systematic change to protect Indigenous women and girls. Emily Pike, a 14-year-old member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, was a vibrant and creative girl with dreams of becoming a That she was reported missing in late January 2025 after leaving a group home in Mesa, Arizona, and her dismembered remains were discovered weeks later near Globe, Arizona. Her brutal murder and the way the media initially reported on her death, with little mention of her name, sparked outrage, renewed urgency in the fight against the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Her mother, tribe, and broader community have honored her memory through vigils, public statements, and advocacy efforts, calling for justice, demanding systematic change. The investigation remains active, with multiple agencies involved and suspects identified, but not publicly named. Emily's story has become the symbol of both unimaginary loss and forced resistance. Her name is now spoken across the country as a reminder of Indigenous lives matter. Say her name, Emily Pike. So this is what I'm gonna do for the missing Indigenous women. And these are gonna be separate. These are gonna be separate episodes. These are gonna be a series, but they're gonna be separate from my normal episodes. But I'm gonna put them both onto Spotify and YouTube, so you guys can hear these stories, and hopefully makes more people aware of this situation. And there need to be justice for all the murdered and missing Indigenous women. Okay, bye.